Welcome back to the unofficial official SwimCloud YouTube page. That's right, it's just Kyle Sockwell, but at this point, it should be Kyle Sockwell asterisk maybe SwimCloud unofficial YouTube page, because that's all we do at this point. But you guys are loving them. I'm having fun. And speaking of having fun, I think this is going to be the most fun that I've ever had doing one of these SwimCloud reviews, because this one's extra special. Based on the title, you probably think, oh, he's going to flip back and forth between two pages. No, we're not. Side by side. We're doing a duo cruise, a dual ship cruise. But yeah, I'm excited. We're going to see how much this sport has progressed in 10 years. And I think there's going to be some surprises in there. And also on top of that, we're going to get to resurface some names that might have started to get, a little bit buried from 2013. So it'll be fun to see some old names on there. Maybe we'll get some names in the comments section that are in this, video from 2013. We'll see. But Swimflation, if you're not familiar with swimming, is a term that kind of encompasses how much faster swimming has gotten. Faster is kind of I think it's like a blanket term, but in my eyes, it's really, I think, more focused on the depth and how much depth has been brought into swimming. It seems like everybody goes 18.9 or better in the 50 freestyle and 41.99 or better in the 100. That's not totally true, but that's just kind of like how I feel. So depth has definitely played a role in Swimflation and how much we talk about it and how much faster the sport has gotten. But on top of that, you got guys like Leon Marchand, you got women like Gretchen Walsh that are doing things that just kind of like make you wonder what you've been doing wrong your entire life. This video is going to focus on men's swimming. If you guys want to see the women's swimming version, drop it in the comments section, hit that like button. And if this one does well, then we'll jump in and do some women's swimming as well. Actually, you know what? I want to do it anyway. I'm going to do it no matter what. I want to see how Kate Douglas and Gretchen Walsh stack up to 2013 NCAAs. Once again, I think we're going to see some surprises, but we're going to go ahead and jump on down there. We're going to hop on board the SwimCloud Cruise. Don't forget to tip your bartender while you're on board. This is going to be some fun. Okay, and so we're going to start things off by looking at the 200 medley relay. So it's a little bit out of order on each side. So just bear in mind that it's a little bit out of order and suffer with me through trying to make all of this work. So the first difference that you're going to see for some of you young folks is on the left side, you're going to see A final, B final. On the right side, you're going to see timed final. That's because back in the day, you had to swim relays twice. I think it's one of the best moves we've made to not have to do two relays, because it's kind of prioritized fast swimming and fast splitting. But we're going to go ahead and look at these as if they are A final and B final. So on the left side, your winning time was a 1:22.27. We're going to take a peek at the splits on that one. 20.8 for Miguel Ortiz. 20.8 in 2013. That's pretty good. 23.0 for Bruno Ortiz. I remember seeing Bruno Ortiz's name back in the day. I remember seeing Sean Fletcher's name back in the day. 19.9. He was one of those guys that I think might have been one of the first ones to go sub 20 in the 50 fly. I'm unsure of that, but how about an 18.4 from Zach Turk to close off that relay? Take a peek at Cal as well. You got Tony Cox, 21.2, Trevor Hoyt, 23.5, Tom Shields. Woo! Nice split, Tom. 1971, 1864 from Seth Stubblefield. I actually grew up swimming against Seth Stubblefield. I think he was from Plano. I think he was a Dallas guy. I was in Austin. About 3 hours apart. We just kind of congregated and swam at the same meets. So fun to see some names on here that I remember. For the Arizona relay, 23.08 from Kevin Cortez. You probably remember that name. Take a peek at Auburn, and then we'll move over to the right side. 20.99, very quick. A lot of sub 21.50 backstroke splits. I wasn't expecting that. And then some 18.9 anchors. So now we're going to get to do a little bit of a fun comparison here. 20.3, 22.9, 19.1, 18.2. So every split is faster. The breaststroke really wasn't all that different. Backstroke about 0.5, butterfly about 0.6, 0.7, I think. And then freestyle about, 0.2 to 0.6, depending on what you're looking at. I mean, if you look at ASU's relay, obviously Leon Marchand picked up almost a full second on some of these relays. And then, if you just loop in what Jordan Crooks did at SECs, he was an 18.9 butterfly split. So if we just look like right here, that's 1.3 second difference. No shade to Marcelo. No shade. 20.2. I could have never done that. All right. So going back now, we're going to move down to the 800 freestyle relay. Now, this one, I think we're going to see a pretty ridiculous difference. This is going to be a long video, by the way. So if you're going to stick with me through this entire thing, Respect. Hit that like button if you're going to stick around for the whole video. Drop a comment letting me know that you are sticking around for the second leg of the cruise. All right, so this one, I might have already known that this one was going to be pretty ridiculous. 613 winning on the left would have been, I think, what is that, 12th in 2023? And then if you go up to 615, I mean, you're looking at 14th place for Michigan. So we'll look at the splits. 133, 133, 132 from Cieslak, 133.6 from Dan Wallace. 129.6 from Luke Hobson leading things off. 130.5, 133.1, 130.1. I mean, and then we'll just for fun, as I do an accidental click like an idiot, we're going to look at Leon Marchand split of 128.42 just for fun. But I mean, if you were, oh my, I need to work on where I'm clicking. I mean, if you're looking at Christian Quintero, 132.4, that was a big name from back in the day. This is 2013. So remember, these aren't full bodysuit times. These are textile suits. So give these guys some credit. And this isn't by any means trying to dog on any of these guys. I think it's just super interesting to get to see that a 603 in 2023 would have won 2013 NCAAs by almost 10 full seconds. All right, we're going to keep moving on, though, because we got a lot of races to cover. On the left side now, we are going to look at the 500 freestyle. And on the right side, guess what? Surprise, surprise. We are going to do the same. All right, so Connor Yeager, 410.84. This is what I was talking about when I said that some of these aren't going to be as egregious as some of the other ones are. Enter Leon Marchand. He's probably going to have some pretty significant gaps, but 410.84, 411.39, 413. So Michael McBroom and Connor Yeager were two huge names back in 2013. Huge names. These times, I mean, this was back when I just feel like I'm roasting people. This is back when going sub 410 was like headline news. Now you have Carson Foster going 407 in a 500 freestyle in practice. And then I'm like, oh, but he did that last year. Should I tweet it? And of course I'm going to tweet it. But on the right side, you've got a 407.3. Texas goes 1-2. This was a really fun race. They got to do a pretty sick celebration. 408.7, 409. You had three guys going sub 410. And then you had a pair of 410s. So Connor Yeager, an Olympian, he actually won Olympic trials to his feet one time in the 1500. If you don't know about that, go look it up. I am just full of facts. Sometimes I tell myself I don't know anything about swimming, and then shit like that just pops out of my head, and I have to kind of like check myself and realize that I am an absolute swimming nerd, which I want to talk about that term for a second. I don't mind it, but when you use swimming nerd in a derogatory manner, it's so stupid. It's stupid. It's bad for the sport. Loving swimming should not be a nerdy thing if you want the sport to progress and be cool. People that know a lot about football, we ask them questions. People that know a lot about swimming, we go, oh, why do you know so much about swimming? So shut up. That was a stupid rant. But yeah, I mean, this one isn't as egregious as some of these other ones are going to be. So we're going to go ahead and keep jumping on so this video doesn't become a 3-hour long video. So moving on to the 200 IM, most of y'all should know how this one kind of played out in 2023. Leon Marchand, 136.34, and Destin Lasco, I don't really know what to tell you. 138.10 to get second. Almost, Destin Lasco almost went 137 in the 200 IM. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. All right. 138.10 in the 200 IM to get second by almost 2 full seconds. I watched that, and then I love that the announcer brought it up. I think it was Rowdy Gaines, I'm pretty sure, brought it up and immediately gave Destin props because those are well-deserved. Now, on the left side, we're going to take a look at 141.21 from Dave Nolan, who is like famous back when I was swimming. Famous. So I was in school. This was my freshman year of college. Dave Nolan, I think, went 141 or 142 in the 200 IM in high school, and it broke the internet. It broke the internet. Yes, we did have the internet back then when I was in high school, but it absolutely shattered it. And then we're 141.2 here, 141.4, 141.99. A lot of y'all probably know this guy, 28.33 breaststroke split. Cody Miller was pretty good at the 2IM, huh? Austin Surhoff, shout out Austin. Maybe I'll send you this video, see if you jump in here and watch me talk about your 200 IM. And then Josh Pernot, who is that? Who is Josh Pernot? 25.9, Josh? 22.3 going out. Not that great. I mean, that's okay. It's a second and a half faster than me. 25.9 backstroke split. I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't familiar with your game. Okay, and then over on the right, we'll take a look at these splits just for funsies. 21.0. Oh, man. 22.9. What a ridiculous first 100. That first 100 split right there most ridiculous split in short course swimming history, in my opinion. 44-0, 21-0 to 22-9, and then 27-6, obviously flying. And that 24-6 split makes me a little bit terrified because 24-6 coming home is fast. It would have been very fast for me. My fastest last 50 was a 26-0. I think I could have been 25-9, but of course I can just say that and it doesn't really matter. But 24-6, relatively speaking, comparing that to those other three splits, looks like there is room for improvement, which makes me absolutely shudder to say, because look at that. 23-31 for Destin Lasco coming home. A lot easier said than done to look at these splits from Leon and go, he could have been faster. He could have been faster if he had just... What am I doing? A weird accent. The fact that Leon could potentially go 135 in the 200 IM, that sentence shouldn't be legal to say. I should be getting in trouble for saying that out loud. So 141 won it, and then 141-2 wouldn't have even scored a point in the A final over here on the right. 10 years later, you're in the B final, and actually... Yeah, no, you would have won the B final. All right, so... moving on down, this one is going to be a little bit weird, and I'm going to say it 97 times, I guess, in this video, but if you know swimming, you know the story of the 50 freestyle at 2023 men's NCAAs. The final, if you look at a lot of these things on the right, maybe not actually, well, there are a lot of season bests in there that I didn't expect, but the final was a little bit interesting due to the fact that the start, they were held for a long time. A lot of these guys didn't get off to a great start. Jordan, 18-3, won the race somehow. Got off the block so slow, somehow still won that race. That just speaks to how good this guy actually is. 18-3, 18-4, 18-6, 18-7, 18-8, 18-8, and then 19-1 and 19-1. Dolan and Santos, both absolutely capable of going 18-8. So I think they just got off to a worse start than some of these other guys due to being held for so long. And this entire final, I think, should have been under 20. I mean, in the B final, 18-7, 18-8, 18-9, 18-9, 18-9, 19-1. Ridiculous. And in the A final over here, 18-6 for Morozov. A lot of y'all, I would hope, know that name. Chiragini, 18-9, 19-1, 19-3, 19-4, 19-4, 19-5, 19-5. And in the B final, 19-4, 19-5, 19-6. I mean, sprinting has gotten ridiculously fast, especially freestyle. When we look at these times, we're going to look at 50 free, 100 free, 200 free in particular have gotten so much faster. Depth, unbelievable. I mean, I think this year at NCAAs, if you don't go 18 in the prelim, you're not going to make the A final. I don't think you are. I think you'll probably be like 18.99. I bet I'll get like 12th. Quote me on that. Hold me to it. Write it on your whiteboard. Save it for later. All right, we're going to look at the 400 medley relay. I think this video might end up being like an hour long. But I honestly, I don't really care. I will do this for an entire hour and it will be fun. It will be fun. All right. So the medley relays, this medley relay 30209 is not something to slouch at. I don't know why you would slouch at it. 45.5, 49.5 for Kevin Cords. What I was saying, some of these splits are going to be like, what? In 2013, 49.5? Yeah, it happened. 44.8, 42.1. Now looking over on the right, 44.2, 50.2. So throw Kevin Cortez on that relay. Would have been faster. 50.2, still incredibly fast. If you're going 50 point at all, if you're going 51, sheesh. 42.9 from Josh Leendo, 40.9 from McGuire McDuff. Indiana took second. 43.8 from Brendan Burns. That is flying. 41.2 from Miroslav. Let's look at these Cal splits over here. We're going to get another Tom Shields split, I'm sure. 43.4 from Shields. 42.2, 52.2. Look at Michigan. 45.8, 51.5. Richard Funk. Famous meme, Richard Funk. He's actually Canadian. And so it would say, can Richard Funk? And they screenshotted it, they meaning the internet meme people, and then put on the top, yes, he can. Can Richard Funk? Yes, he can. You know, can you kick it? You know what? Okay. All right. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Before we do, Leon Marchand, 49.23. Woo! 200 medley relay. What? We already looked at that. You crazy. I'm so lost. I'm just gonna go based on the right side. We're gonna try to do this. All right, so the 200 backstroke. I remember Andrew T-Dites. He actually hosted me on my recruiting trip to Wisconsin. David Nolan's back. Jacob Pebley. Shout out Jacob Pebley. 138.2, 139.1, or 139.3, 139.7, 139. There's a lot of 139s in this heat. More 139s than I thought would be in here. Now, on the right side, you got Destin Lasco and Hugo Gonzalez going 135.8, 136.7, and then Huber Koss going 137.9. That's pretty good, and he's already been 135 this year. Entire heat going under 140, and on the left side, 141.8 from Austin Surhoff. Shout out, Austin. Hope you see this. And then a bunch of 141s and 142s. Now, on the right side, pretty much everybody's going sub 141. I think to make the A final was, B finalists, 13th place, 139.91. This one's gotten quite a bit faster. We're going to go ahead and keep moving on down the line, though, because I think this video is just going to take far too long. All right, so 100 freestyle for the men. 100 free for the men on the left. This is one of those events where, what? Morozov, what? 40.7? Morozov was the first person to ever split under 18 seconds, ever. He went 17.9 on a relay, and that video absolutely broke the internet. Chiragini, 41.51, 42.27. I can hardly read these times because I was not familiar with Vlad Morozov's 100 freestyle game. He does it's one of my favorite long course swimmers to watch because in the 100 freestyle, he like flips to his feet in like 21.8. I think he's been like 21 out to his feet before. And then the field will come back a little bit. But Josh Leando, 40.2, 40.9, 40.9, 40.9. Pretty wild that Vlad Morozov back in 2013 would have been second at NCAA's now. That is wild to me. I was not expecting that. Obviously, the depth on the right, like I talked about, I am smart. Come on. The depth on the right is just far different than on the left. Far different. If you scroll down, you've got 43s on the left side in 2013, and you're not going to see a single 43 until you get, this is prelims, until you get down to the literal bottom of prelims in 2023. So sprinting, once again, proving that it's just gotten far faster and is kind of outpacing all of the other events for fastness. All right, 200 breaststroke. This one's going to be fun. I've said that for every single one. I'm just having fun over here. All right, Kevin Cortez, 148.68. Back then, crazy. On the right, don't know what to tell you. 3 guys going sub 150, 146.91 for Leon. He said he was sick before this race too, wasn't feeling too good, and he went out 50.6. 50.6. Look at these splits. 23.7, 26.8, 27.7, 28.4. This is just another prover, if you want to call it that, of how Leon just likes to dive in, sprint as fast as he can, and then see what happens. And what happens is you go 146.9 in the 200 breaststroke, and I look at your splits and go, could he really go 145? Does he really need to go 145? That would make me feel inadequate, which he already goes 328 in the 400 IM. Shout out to ASU for putting an honorable mention up for me in the graphic that Herbie Bem put out for top 10 times for ASU swimmers. 350.11, 400 IM. If you haven't watched my SwimCloud tour video on my own page, go check that out. But 148.6, 151.9, 152.1, 153.2, 153.7. Shout out Josh. Richard can funk. Yes, he can. He can go 154 in 200 breaststroke. Breaststroke's gotten a lot faster. A lot faster. So, I mean, if you look at the time that it took to A final, oh, Josh, catching strays. I am so sorry, Josh. 154.23. And you would be 32nd. 32nd in 2023. I really did not do this video with the premeditated intent to just throw a bunch of strays at some of my friends. But Josh, I would like to apologize, and I will buy you a beer or something to make up for making you feel bad. Okay, so 200 butterfly. We're starting to get on a little bit of a groove here with this. I'm figuring it out. 139.65, 140.6. I don't want this whole video to be me saying, I told you so. I told you that some of these were going to be closer than they are. And I don't want it to be me doing accents that literally don't exist. All of my accents typically turn Jamaican. Typically they do. But it is what it is. 139.65 for Tom Shields. Aiden Hayes, 138.7. Brennan Birds, 138.9. And Steve State v. Indiana battle there. That was a fun one to watch. Gabe Jett, 139.4. Daria Rose, 139.89. So it's the depth. The depth thing is going to be something that I'm going to say at least 15 more times in this video, but the depth is real. And this year, sheesh, this year we've already got somebody that went 137. Shout out Ilya Karun, 137. Could he take out that Jack Conger 200 butterfly record? Only time will tell. It's my favorite thing to say about swimming because obviously only time will tell. Okay, so moving on down the line. Little song for you, my friends. That was cringy. All right, so the 200 backstroke we already looked at. What is happening to me? I'm getting lost. 200 free relay men. Okay, here we go. We're back on track. We're back on track. We're doing this thing. See, the 200 free is just like up here at event number 1 on the left side. They shuffled the event order around, I'm pretty sure. Coffee break. This is my second coffee of the day. So if I'm talking like an absolute lunatic, it's because I wanted to be excited. I wanted to be excited for this video. 1:15:48. Would have lost. What did I just do? Would have lost by 2 full seconds in the 200 freestyle relay to 2023. Now, this Florida relay is absolutely insane. They didn't have a single 17 on their relay and still broke the, I think, the most famous short course yards record on the books, the Auburn 2008 or 2009 400 or 200 freestyle relay of 1:14:07, 1:14:08. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. They broke it by 7/10. 7/10 of a second and didn't have like a Jason Lezak split on their relay. This whole team is just really good. They're just really good. 18:22 Leendo leading off, flying. 18:37 from Adam Chaney, flying. Eric Freese, 18:64. Come on, Eric. Just kidding. 18:12 from McGuire McDuff anchoring. McGuire McDuff, some of the best celebrations I've ever seen at any meet ever. 1:13:82. Bjorn Seeliger, 18:5. 18:1 from Jack Alexi. 18:5. 18:5. This relay, I think, could potentially go 1:13:34. Hot take alert. My bad. All right, moving over to the left side, you got Auburn. We're definitely going to check out that USC relay. 18:99 leadoff, very fast. 18:8, 18:5 anchor from Kyle Owens. Dang, Kyle took all of the Kyle sprint genes, I guess, and I just got to do the 400 freestyle or 400 medley. Oh, there it is. Sorry, 400 IM, individual IM. God, what's happening to me? It's been 25 minutes. So Vlad Morozov, 1786. How fun is it to see a 17 on the screen? We haven't really had a 17 split in a while. We had Jordan Crooks go 17.9. Before that, it was Dressel. Other than that, not really sure. 1786. I think, hot take again, I think this year we're going to see another 17. I think we see another 17. Obviously, I want Jordan Crooks to go 1762. That would be sick. But I think we're going to see maybe a couple other people. I think three people are going to have a 17 next to their name. And they're going to join the Vlad Morozov club. 1786. Wow, that is fast for back then. 18.7 for Michigan's relay. Texas, I think they didn't have Jimmy Fegan on that one. John Murray, 18.9. Shout out to John. John's actually been like 18.3 on a relay. So that's fun. All right, keeping it going. We're keeping it going. This is the longest video I've made ever. I can't believe it if you're still watching. It's so sick. All right, 400 IM. Leon Marchand time. Chase Kalish, 3:38:05 at 2016 or 2015, maybe 2014, actually. I just gave you 3 years. 2014 NCAAs in Austin, Texas. Chase went 3:34 in the 400 IM, and I was like, that's never getting broken. Never getting broken. That record will outlive me. And then Leo Marchand last year went 3:28:82. 3:28:82. Hugo Gonzalez went 3:34. Carson 3:36, 3:37, 3:38, 3:38. Then a couple of 340s that were almost 339s. Then the B final, 3:38, 3:38, 3:40. I mean, everyone's going times that would have won NCAAs in 2013 at this point. And we're talking about Chase Kalish. This is a multi-time Olympic medalist, former NCAA record holder. He's 405 something, I believe, 405 and change in the 400 IM long course. And Leon Marchand went 3:28:82. For you nerds out there, I'm going to sit quietly for about 15 seconds. I'll check the clock and let you just look at these splits. Okay, moving on. Men's 100 butterfly. So we're going to have Tom Shields back on the left, 44.59. And this 100 butterfly final was so much fun. And if you look down at the bottom, Kasper Stokowski just can't escape. Can't escape. 48.27. I think he might have had a foot cramp or something. Yusuf Ramadan, 43.15. Leando, 43.40. Frankel, 44.0. 44.2. 44.2. 44.3. 44.8. And then on the left side, you got 44.5, 45.3, 45.5, 45.7, 45.9. And then we're down into 46s. Let's see what it would have taken to score. 46.70. I don't think a 46.70 would make NCAAs anymore. I don't think it would be even close, actually. No offense, Brad. No offense. Hope you're doing well in life. Yeah, I mean, it's just the depth. The depth. We're in the Marianas Trench now, and it used to be like a sandbar back in the day. You used to have a guy that, like a Tom Shields, that was the underwater king back then, 44.59, and then you could go 46.7 and score. Now it's like if you go 45.5, you're like, oh, I might not make NCAAs. No. If you want to score, yeah, this will be fun to look at. How about a 45.2? How about you almost go 44 in the 100 fly, and then we'll consider letting you score 1 point at NCAAs. This has been almost as fun as I thought. So if you're having fun, let me know if you're having fun. Okay, so 200 freestyle, João DeLuca, this guy. I didn't put my feet on camera. No free foot pics. No free foot videos. He's a guy that claps with his feet. The Joe DeLuca celebration. Some people out there might be calling it the schmo. I don't know if you can claim it. I don't know if you can claim it if João DeLuca was the guy to do it. I love it. I love the celebration. Keep doing it. But, 131.51, 130.43 from Luke Hobson, 132.7. Joe DeLuca back then was like the guy. The guy. Reinventing the 200 freestyle. 133.0, 133.2. I mean, those aren't going to... I don't know if that would score. I don't know if a 133 is scoring. No, it's not. You got to go 132.6 to score at NCAAs in the 200 freestyle these days. If you are a youngster out there watching this, do not let this discourage you from trying to make an NCAA team, trying to score points at NCAAs. Let it excite you because there are so many people doing it that you can do it too. I feel like an army recruiter or something. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to look at the 100 breaststroke, we are almost done. We are a half hour into this video. I cannot believe that I can talk about swimming by myself in this room to a little black dot on my camera for this long. But if you have made it this long, hit that like button. It means a lot. Subscribe because we're going to keep doing more videos like this. And drop a comment letting me know your thoughts on some of this craziness. 50.7 for Kevin Cortez in 2013. Kevin was just an absolute animal. Won by almost a full second in front of his teammate Kevin Steele. Richard Canfunk, and he can go 51.84. And look at that name in fourth. 51.85. Still kicking. Nick Fink, still America's breaststroker. Still America's breaststroker. And, oh, Cody, no. Cody got DQ'd. Okay, so Max McHugh, 50.00. Dang, would have loved to see a 49. Sorry. I mean, it would have been cool. Van Matthias, 50.60. Petrushov, 50.78. Kasper Corbeau, 50.79. 50.8, 50.8, 51.0, 51.2. In the B final, we're going 50 point. The 100 backstroke. The 100 backstroke is one of those events that's gotten a lot faster. A lot faster. 43.6, 43.8, 43.9. If you don't know the story behind this, go watch my most watched video on my YouTube channel, the battle between Brendan Burns and Kasper Stokowski. A lot of fun to watch, a little bit of gamemanship, and I think some pretty good content that I created. Dave Nolan, 44.99 in 2013, very fast. 45.21 from Tom Shields, very fast. Little Stanford v. Cal rivalry there. Eric Ress, 45.3, 45.4, 45.5. Really, I mean, the depth in this one hasn't really shifted all too much. Oh, no. Okay, maybe it has. 16th, 46.59. 16th, 45.5. So only a second. I mean, that's insane that I'm saying only a full second faster, but compared to some of these other events, it's held its own. It's definitely held its own. All right, we're going to do the 400 medley relay, and then we will finish with the mile. 400 medley relay is one that we already did. How fun is that? My brain is turning to mush. All right, so let's go ahead and find the 1650 on the left and the 1650 on the right. Connor Yeager, Michael McBroom really showing out for the 2013 crew on the left. 14:27. Guess what? Would have won it. Connor Yeager 10 years ago would have won the mile at 2023 NCAAs. 14:28, 14:30, 14:33, 14:35 on the left. 14:27, 14:32, 14:42, 46, 46, 49. So we start to really climb pretty quickly. But I mean, 14:27 back then, cooking. In a textile suit, cooking. Fast. All right, y'all, we're going to wrap things up there because I don't think I can talk much longer. 33 minutes of SwimCloud content, a little bit of comparison, a little bit of contrastualization, a little bit of joking around, a little bit of fun. If you like this video, like the video, subscribe if you want more videos like this to pop up on your homepage. Click on them if you see them popping up on your homepage. There's a new one, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.